I get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you
Greetings technicians, this is Adam Grow here, your coach of the Toronto Star Raptors, bringing you the team builder for another week in the PCL. This is season 3, week 8, and we will be taking on Toastmachine, aka Toast, aka the coach of the Winnipeg Warturtles, the other Canadian coach, or I should say another Canadian coach in the league. And shout out to Toast. First of all, he was the one who helped me mock and prep early on the season when Lo-Fi was busy with moving. And of course, it's going to be the showdown of two Canadian coaches this week, and definitely good luck to him. And also, I would like to apologize in advance that I actually didn't put too much effort in this week's team, simply because I was literally out of town for the entire week and I didn't really get a chance to prep or mock too much. But regardless, I will try to put up a good show this week. The match has already been played at this point, but yeah, let's just hop into the team builder. So Toast's entire roster is very speed pass heavy. It should appear to your right momentarily. As you can see, he is packing that Scolopede also alongside of Celebi, and the his entire team is either very fast or really slow. So he's one of his main strategy around his roster is around baton passing and just passing in general. So you're gonna see I brought some stuff this week to counteract that. So first up, we have Winter Jr., the Gligar, packing the Eviolite and the ability Sand Veil again, trying to maybe dodge a move here and there, as I am bringing the Sand once again this week. I don't think he's gonna have a poison move on the Scolopy if he does bring it, so I'm not actually expecting poison jab because my fairy is immune to poison. The best move he can run are Earthquake and Rock Slide, and maybe Mega Horn on his offensive Scolopede if he so decide to bring that. And the movesets are just Stealth Rock, U-Turn, Roost, and Earthquake. Actually the exact same moveset as what I brought last week, but the EVs are a little bit different. Stealth Rock to ensure hazard. He doesn't really have a really good way of hazard removal outside of that Claydol, which I really hope he doesn't bring against me because he doesn't have the best matchup. Aside from that, his defogging options are pretty limited as well. His best defogger are pretty much going to be that Tornadus most of the time, and which is also weak to rocks. One thing to know, Noivern is also weak to rocks. That would be another potential defogger. In my opinion, Noivern actually have a better matchup versus me this week, simply because he resists a dual stab coming from Volcarona. So U-Turn is there for momentum, Roost is for recovery, EQ because ground spam is very good against him. He's flying types I can pressure with rocks, and all the other things I just click EQ against. Also, I would like to be able to break a sub against that Lucario, and potentially break a sub against the Scolopede. Most importantly is a ground type for his Mega, which is Mega Ampharos, Fabio. And I would like to be able to break a sub or just stay in and take a potential hidden power ice from it and just be able to break his sub, or just revenge kill him in either Trick Room, or if he so decide to agility up or even speed pass into it. So that was the idea there. DV spreads are just max HP and with a lot of special defense, so I can take a random HP ice from the Scolopy or the Tornadus, or even Mega Ampharos if I have to. I don't need the physical defense investment to be able to take on the Scolopy anyways, so that was my idea there. And this thing also acts as a pseudo switch into Tornadus, because that thing actually destroys my roster as well. So up next we do have Proton, the Klefki, coming again, packing the leftovers and the ability Prankster. So he doesn't have a dark type on his team. Oh, I guess he does, but it's a lowland Persian, which I guess in a sense it has a really good speed tier versus me. I can see it coming, but the fact that I have Volcarona and also I have my dual bug, right, Volcarona and Charlotte the Galvantula, it's something that that might you keep him away from bringing it, but I can see definitely a power gem set versus me, or a technician hidden power rock or something along the lines. Bring the technician against the technician, right? So I can really see him meme it up that way as well. So the move sets are Thunderwave, Magnet Rise, Spikes, and Dazzling Gleam. Also quite similar to what I bought last time, but I don't think I had Thunderwave the last time we played. For last week, I think I replaced Toxic with Thunderwave. So this thing is relatively specially bulky as well. Dazzling Gleam is to be there to hit the Persian, so I don't get walled by that thing because it is a dark type. It is immune to my prankster moves, and Spike is there for hazards. Again, his hazard control is very limited. I am not bringing defog this week. I'm gonna rely on him to defog away for me. But if he does bring that clay doll, I have to change up my plan a little bit because that's another rapid spinner against me. But Volcarona can set up relatively well against that thing anyways, unless he's packing Rock Slide specifically for Volcarona, but we will see about that. Magnet Rise is there for his Scolipede with EQ. As I mentioned before, Rock Slide EQ Mega Horn is very good against me. Just get up a Swords Dance and that thing can pretty much sweep my entire team if I don't have the correct mons for it. And Cleft Key is also almost my designated answer for the Scolipede. So it doesn't need the physical investment to take on the Scolipede again. The special investment is to help me take on the Tornadus. This will be or the Noivern, I guess. This will be my designated switch-in for those two, but one thing do know, Tornadus does have access to Heatwave, and Noivern does have access to Flamethrower, so I have to scout for those two if I must. So yeah, that's pretty much it. T-Wave again for speed control against his really speed passy heavy team, and Dazzling Gleam is also another move to help me hit the Mega Ampharos, as it will be I will be hard walled otherwise if I pack the steel move, or of course it's going to be immune to my Thunder Wave being an electric type. So up next we do have a Genesis the Volcarona packing the leftover as well with the ability Flame Body. The movesets are Substitute, Hidden Power Ice, Quiver Dance, and Fury Dance. Nice fire ice coverage. So the reason I have Hidden Power Ice here is primarily for the Noivern, and even though I think Marowak is really good against me defensively, in also hard walls both my Volcarona and Galvantula, is something that I don't really necessarily see him bring, simply because it gets revenge killed by so many things. And as you can see, even though I don't expect him to bring Marowak, it's really good offensively versus me, but it also gives me momentum if I decide to pull off a double or go hard into either my Garchomp or T-Tar. He doesn't really switch in well against Garchomp and T-Tar, the dual sand core as well. So, but I did prep against the Marowak, even though I don't expect it to come. 4 out of my 6 mons can check it. Well, I guess 3 out of my 6 mons can check it, being Gligar, Chompo, and Nero, and I guess Winter Jr., because I called the other two by nicknames. Anyways, so that was my idea there. Plus, Alolan Marowak doesn't get recovery, and it's weak to both Stealth Rock and Spikes, so it's gonna get worn down to by hazards quite easily. So even if I predict him to switch into it with my Volcarona, I can either pull a double or I can just go for a Fury Dance and get off damage on it because it doesn't have reliable recovery. So obviously the sets are Substitute. It's pretty standard, just Quiver Dance, Substitute. Substitute is in there to if I expect him to switch or pull a double, and Hidden Power Ice again primarily for the Noivern, and also his other dragon, which would be his Mega Ampharos. I really didn't want to have Bug Buzz over it, simply because I think Noivern is very good against me, and I didn't want to get hard walled by Noivern. That was my main idea. It also hits whatchamacallit, it also hits the Tornadus relatively well, so after a +1, And I didn't need Bug Buzz to hit the Claydol if he does bring that. Of course, I could have packed the Giga Drain for the Toad, Seismic Toad, but I opt to go against it simply because I do have other things that can pressure it, and he's definitely gonna fear Giga Drain against me anyways. So that was my idea. I can scout out for a rock move as well by going for a sub, and if he only has Scald for me, I can pretty safely just Quiver Dance up on that thing. Anyways, so the EV spreads are just max HP with a lot of defense bold nature, with enough speed, I believe, to outspeed a Noivern, which is the fastest thing on his roster. It is faster in tornadoes as well. Obviously, I don't outspeed anything at +1 or anything that was speed passed into when I am at +1, so that's something I have to note. So up next we do have Chompo coming back again, the Mega Garchomp packing the Garchompite with ability Rough Skin, not Scentveil this time. This might pretty much designated switch into Scolipede. Again, because Scolipede is so threatening against me. Sorry, it's basically my designated switch into any of his physical attackers, but primarily to prevent Scolipede from speed passing. Yes, I have to not only prepare for a offensive Scolipede, but also a support one with speed pass. So I did bring Roar over Dragon Tail this time in case he managed to pass speed on top of Substitute. So that was my idea there, because Roar does go through both Protect and Sub if I'm not mistaken, and Swords Dance to boost my attack in case he wants to switch out, and I can fire off a hit accordingly. I didn't really want to lock myself into Outrage, that's why I do have Dragon Claw here. Earthquake plus Dragon Claw pretty much hits his entire roster. So the EVs are just almost max HP with a lot of defense. Again, this is to help me take on the Scolipede and prevent speed passing as well. And the Rough Skin damage on Scolipede will definitely help. And of course, this thing can also take on the Alolan Marowak, because otherwise I have literally nothing to switch into it. Of course, Tyranitar resists Alolan Marowak's dual stab, but it can very well pack either Earthquake or Boomerang as a ground coverage against my T-Tar. And just a little bit speed in case he wants to speed creep me with his Celebi, in case he is defensive one. So up next we do have Charlotte Galvantula packing the Life Orb, and the movesets are Volt Switch, Sticky Web, Energy Ball, and Bug Buzz. I didn't really know what to put in this slot. This was actually the last mon that I decided, but looking back, Galvantula actually does really well against his team. His grass type is quad weak to Bug, and both of his ground types gets blown away by Energy Ball. So just the combination of Electric, Bug, Grass is really good against him. Sticky Web is there as a tech. I don't really need it because all his monsters that outspeeds me are flying types anyways, and plus I cannot, if he does go for the speed passing route, Sticky Web is not gonna do too much, but I do have a strategy here with my Tyranitar in case I do pull it off. But then again, this set is also walled by Alolan Marowak, so I don't know how much I'm going to be clicking Volt Switch. If he does bring the Alolan Marowak against me, I might very well just get off damage against it. So up next we do have the final member for this week, Tyranitar Nero. Packing a Furium Z. Yes, I'm bringing Furium Z again, but this time on Tyranitar. I haven't been successfully pulling off Furium Z at all this season, so that's something that I really want to try to do. So the combination of Crunch and Stone Edge destroys his entire roster. The only thing that wants to take a Stone Edge or switch into Tyranitar would be maybe the Seismitoad if he's physically defensive. Lucario does resist my dual stab, and I don't really want to give it a justified boost unless I have to. But basically the idea is to catch a Lucario on switching with a Furium Z Fire Punch instead of a regular Fire Punch, and Dragon Dance is there to help me set up if I do predict a switch, and then fire off hits accordingly. And again, the speed here is very weird simply because after Dragon Dance, I don't really outspeed much, so I just opt to go against. I really only need the attack boost from Dragon Dance. I don't really need the speed boost. So like I outspeed the slower members of his team naturally anyways, and I don't think the Seismitoad or the Clado is going to be speed invested to creep the T-Tar. It doesn't really make sense, even though those two does naturally outspeed me and are resistant to my rock attacks. Basically the idea is to try to get this thing in freely and then fire off big crunches and stone edges against his team. As I mentioned before, he doesn't really have a really good switch into T-Tar anyways. But one thing I forgot to mention is that even though I don't really need the speed from Dragon Dance, if I do manage to get a Sticky Web up with Galvantula and D-Dance up with T-Tar, I can outspeed the majority of his team, obviously when they are not at +1. And but I do not appreciate, or I guess he can still outspeed me with his flying types, being the Torn and the Noivern. So yeah, that's going to be the team this week. I really hope this T-Tar set put in the work, especially Furum Z Fire Punch. I debated running a special T-Tar set, but then again I was walled by Sylveon, and of course Furum Z Fire Blast is going to do more, but it's not something that I figured was worth doing. So yeah, that's gonna be it from me this week. Hope you guys enjoyed the builder, and I guess I will see you guys in the match. This is gonna be Admin Crow here signing off. See you guys next time. Goodbye, technicians.